So many of you have reached out to me over the past few months because you're planning to apply to clinical psych programs this fall. And first and foremost, I just want to say congratulations on making this decision, and I am wishing you all the best of luck this application season. And if anyone else has questions that they'd like to ask, you are more than welcome to reach out to me through Instagram. But for those of you who I have spoken to, I really hope that my insights have been helpful. And reflecting on some of the advice I've given some of you, I thought, why not make this video? Before I get started though, I did want to say that I shared in my last video and on my community tab that I was thinking about starting a grad student support group, and I asked all of you who would be interested. Quite a few folks on the poll said they would be, and a few folks said that they wanted more information before they could make a decision. And so I will be talking about that more in this video at the end of the video. So if you're interested in learning more about that, just stay tuned. But for the main part of the video, I will just be going through a few mistakes that I think you should really try to avoid when working on your clinical psych program applications. Hey, hello, my name is JoJo and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. Okay, mistake number one, starting applications way too late. You are going to need more time than you think you're gonna need to work on your applications, especially if you are applying to 5, 6, even 3. Even if you're just applying to like 3 programs, you're gonna need more time than you think you will. My suggestion, if you haven't started working on your applications already, is to start today, like right now. Like, stop watching the video and go work on your applications. For many clinical psych doctoral programs, if not most of them, applications are due in early November. So that means if you're watching this video on the day that I'm hoping this will go up, you have less than 2 months. And that time is going to fly by. And the last thing you want is for it to be the day before or the night the application is due, and you're still not done with it, and you're stressed and you're rushing and your application just isn't where you want it to be. By starting applications earlier, you will have much more time to refine until you get to the point where you can look through your application and feel confident that it is the strongest it can possibly be. The other part about starting applications early is that it gives you more time to collect your materials. That means it'll give you more time to order transcripts. It will give you more time to order test scores if that's necessary. It'll give you more time to find people to do your recommendation letters, and it will give your recommenders more time to write your recommendation letters. It'll give you more time to work on your essays. It'll just give you more time. That is the overarching point here, is it will give you more time, and more time is always better. Mistake number 2 is a big one, and that is not paying attention to program requirements. Before you even start working on an application for a program, make sure that you have looked through their program requirements thoroughly, and make sure that you meet any minimum requirements that the program states. Because for one, what happens if you have been working on that application for, let's say, a month, and then you realize there's a requirement that you don't meet? You've just wasted a month of time working on an application that you can't submit. And 2, let's say you decide, I'm going to submit this application anyway. Chances are, if you don't meet one of their requirements, they're just going to toss your application out. And they're gonna do that because those minimum requirements are there for a reason. A lot of times, programs use those minimum requirements to decrease the number of applications that they actually have to review. Think of it as like a funnel system. Like the minimum requirements are there because the programs are receiving hundreds of applications every year, and they need to find a way to whittle that number down before they actually start reading materials. And those requirements are a way for them to do that. And so then you've essentially wasted time, effort, and money to complete an application that won't get looked at. So please, it is pivotal, it is vital that you make sure that you meet those requirements. That includes GPA, test scores, again, if they're necessary, educational background, anything that their program asks as a requirement for applications, you need to make sure you meet those. Mistake number 3, using a resume as a CV. A lot of times, clinical psych doctoral programs will specifically ask for a CV. I need you all to know that a resume and a CV are not the same thing. A resume is something that you would put together and submit for a job application. A CV, or a curriculum vitae, is what academic institutions ask for to see a history of your academic achievements. If you want to know more about the difference between the two and how to put together a CV, I have a video on that on my channel. I will link it up above. Feel free to watch that. I believe I also have linked in the description of that video a template of a CV that I used when I was applying to PhD programs for the second time, not the first time, because the first time I made the same mistake of submitting a resume instead of a CV. And so I learned my lesson. But yes, please make sure that you submit a CV, not a resume. Mistake number 4 is using the same personal statement for every program application. Here's the thing. It is absolutely fine to draft up one personal statement as a template, but it is absolutely a mistake to then use that one personal statement for every application you submit. And here's why. The faculty members who are reviewing your application are absolutely going to be able to tell when you've written just a very generic personal statement that you've used for every school that you applied to. And they're going to know that because chances are, if you use the same exact personal statement for every application, there are not going to be any specifics. It's going to be very vague, very broad, very general language about why you want to be in the program. And that is not going to be good enough. Instead, what you'll want to do if you draft a template of a personal statement is then take that template and for every program you apply to, insert program specifics, personalize your personal statement, include specific references to things that the program offers or specific faculty members or specific initiatives that the program has that show that you have done your research and you are invested in some degree in this program. This demonstrates to them that you really want to be there, and that will keep their attention. And I guess a sub mistake in this is not listing a faculty member in your application. Oh my God. I'm sorry, my laptop sounds like it is about to take off into space. I've had this baby for 10 years. I don't want to jinx it, but I think it's almost time for a new one. She has worked a very hard and long life. Anyway, what was I saying? Faculty members. Most programs that I am aware of require that you list a faculty member or two that you would like to work with in their programs. If this isn't a requirement for any of the programs that you want to apply to, you should still list a faculty member or two. Because again, this shows that you've done your research and that you are invested in some degree in this program and you really want to be there. And so both of those kind of go together. You want to personalize your personal statements for each program. And finally, mistake number 5 is getting recommendation letters from people who don't really know you. I get it. If you're applying straight from undergrad, chances are you only have 1, maybe 2 faculty members who you've gotten to know, really know, over the course of the 4 years that you've been in college. And that's because generally undergrad classes are just huge. There are upwards of 100 to 200 students in a single class. It's really difficult to get to know college professors on a more personal level to the point where they can write a convincing recommendation letter about you. The flip side of that is if you're applying to grad schools after you've taken a gap year or 2, it's really hard to reconnect with professors that you were once close with, or to reach out to old professors in general because they might not remember you anymore. So here's a little tip. Not all of your recommendation letters have to be from faculty members. The whole point of recommendation letters is for the people who are reviewing your application to get to see someone else's perspective of you. And that is why it's important that the people you ask for recommendation letters from actually know who you are, because they will be able to confidently and convincingly speak about you. So it is absolutely okay if one of your recommendation letters comes from a mentor that you have worked really closely with, or a manager or a supervisor from your job who really knows your work ethic. Granted, at least one of your recommendation letters will still have to be from a faculty member, but it's okay if the recommendation letter from the faculty member is a little bit more on the generic side if you have these other recommendation letters from people who actually know you, who can speak to who you are, and who can speak to the work that you're able to do, because that is what application reviewers are looking for. And I guess a little bonus tip, not so much a mistake, but more like a bonus tip, is just make sure that you tell a story through your applications. Something that is really easy to do when you're working on a bunch of applications for a bunch of different programs is to lose sight of the story that you're trying to tell. So you want to make sure that all of your materials in each application speak to each other in some way and tell a story of who you are, why you want to be in this program, and where you're hoping it takes you. Telling a story throughout your application will keep the reader interested. It will make them curious about you. It will make them interested in you, and it will make them want to invite you for an interview so they can ask the questions they have about you. And that is what you want. So with that being said, that is all I have as far as the main content of the video. I hope all of those tips are helpful in some way. So now to talk about the grad student support group, which I am so excited about. So let's see. So here's what I'm thinking in terms of concept for the group, right? I want this group to be, one, I want us to meet via Zoom regularly. I'm thinking more than likely like once a month, and when in each month we are going to meet is something that will be decided once people have like officially reached out to join. And I want this group to be a space in which people who are currently clinical psych grad students or people who are intending to apply to clinical psych programs within the next year or so, I want this to be a space where we can all just come together, talk to one another, build a support network with one another. Because I've had so many people reach out and tell me how difficult it is for them because they don't have the support that they would want to have and need, both within their programs and just in their communities in general. And so that's really what I'm hoping for this space to be. I want us to just be able to connect, to talk, vent, whatever you need, but also to like encourage one another and support one another and share resources and offer advice. Because I feel like that's like, you can never have too much of that in grad school, especially in like a doctoral program. And so that's sort of like my vision for the group. And I'm thinking that the best way for me to do this and to ensure that the people who are showing up to these meetings and who are part of this group are people who genuinely need that and genuinely want to provide that for others is I need to find a way to ensure that like not just anyone can show up and be there, you know? Not to say that I'm like trying to like gatekeep the group or anything, but I don't want to just share the link on my channel and then someone who is not actually a supporter of my channel like finds the link and just like joins the group at some point and starts talking crazy. I don't know. I need to find a way to keep this in like some sort of protected bubble, if you get what I'm saying. And so the easiest and probably surest way I've figured out to do this is to use my channel membership. And I know that immediately sounds like, oh, she's just trying to get money from this. I promise I'm not. okay? It's just with the channel membership, I'll be able to just share the link with those of you who want to be there. I don't have to post it publicly on my channel. And I can make sure that like whatever we share in this group stays within the group. Like that is my goal here. That is my only goal. And so here's what I'm gonna do. If you just join the lowest tier of my membership, which I think is set right now at like 99 cents, you will be able to be a part of the group chat that I'm going to have for this. You'll have access to all of the resources that people share in the group chat. And you will also be able to attend what is anticipating monthly meetings. So I'm not gonna charge like an exorbitant amount of money, okay? I'm charging the lowest that YouTube will let me charge, which I think is 99 cents. I set up my membership like a whole year and a half ago, I think. But like I never really promoted it because I felt weird about like asking people for money. And I feel weird asking you to pay $1 a month to be a part of this. But as of right now, this is the only way I've figured out how to make this work. And so yeah, for just like $1 a month, you can be a part of this group. You'll have access to everything. And hopefully we can like really make this a thing, because I'm really excited to be starting this. And I want to just make it clear, like this is not intended to be like a therapy group, a group therapy situation at all. This is literally just so that people who need extra support or just need support period will have a network of people who will support them on their grad school journeys. So yeah, by the time this video goes up, everything should already be set up on my channel to join my membership. The membership link will be in the description. You could also just go to my main channel page and click join membership. I think that option only works on computers, not phones. So if you're on a phone, you will have to click the link in the description. If you're on a computer, you could just go to my channel page and click join channel. I think it's like next to the subscribe button or something. And yeah, I am hoping that this is not too much. I know times is hard, okay? I know times is hard. The economy is shit right now. So I'm hoping that the 99 cents is not too much for folks. But if it is, we can talk about that, and then I will do my best to try to find some other method. So yeah, that's it. Hopefully we can get this off the ground. So thank you for watching, especially if you made it all the way to the end. I truly appreciate it. Leave me a comment down below if you have any questions or suggestions for future videos. As always, like, share, and subscribe, and click that little notification bell so you don't miss my next upload, and I'll see you in my next one.